Right now at noon, players of all ages take to the field for a soccer tournament to help children of abuse.
And it's a hot and muggy day across the area again. We do have some relief on the way if we can just get through the next couple of days. The latest on your forecast coming up.
Plus, the Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to announce her running mate as soon as today.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, tomorrow, primary elections take place right here in the 4 states. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. Let's take a look at some of the key races for this year's primary elections. If you're planning to vote in Missouri, you have both statewide and local races on the ballot. Missourians will not only decide on local primaries like Republican nominee for sheriff, there's also races for Congress and state legislature, plus 2 constitutional questions. Kansans are also voting in statewide and local races in our area. That includes U.S. Congressional District 2. There's also contested sheriff primaries in several counties. If you're planning to vote in the primary election, here are some important things to keep in mind. In Missouri, polls open at 6 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. Kansas, they're open 7 to 7. In both states, be sure to have your photo ID with you to cast your ballot. And you can find out what's
Yeah, it's going to be another hot and muggy day across the area. We had a decent Friday and Saturday thanks to some drier air and a cold front, but yesterday started to heat up. Today, no different. Earlier this morning, MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking pretty good out there. We've had just a couple of clouds here and there, but otherwise clear skies, and that'll be the case for us through the rest of today and the next few days out there. Our camera on the Cordell Complex this morning, we had that southerly breeze, and unfortunately, it is ushering in muggier conditions across the area, and of course, some warm air to go with that. KDOT camera this morning, 69 in Kansas Crossing also was looking pretty good. Sunshine out there. We started yesterday at 66. So yesterday we actually started 3 degrees below normal, but we made it 5 degrees above at 96, not counting the heat index values out there. So an unpleasant temperature to say the least. Thankfully, not quite at record levels from back in 2012. So you can see where our temperature trend has been, and it continues to go up with our average at 91. But then you take a look, start heading toward the second half of this week, and we're going to begin to see some improvements out there. The rest of the evening, though, again, clear skies, maybe a cloud or two. It's still hot out there as well. We're only down to about 80 by midnight. However, we do have some relief on the way. If we can get through the next couple of days, we're going to start to see some improvement in our temperatures. Maybe even a little rain chance here or there. We're going to take a look at that full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right. Thanks, Chris. We'll see you soon. Well, the city of Joplin is warning drivers of a lane shift starting today. The city says traffic on Connecticut Avenue between 32nd Street and the I-44 bridge will be shifted to the newly constructed pavement on the east side of the roadway. During the shift, Joplin warns that side streets will be closed for periods of time. Drivers should expect delays. Okay, Kansans, now is the time for your voice to be heard in regards to the look of your license plate. The Kansas Department of Revenue has opened its voting on new personalized license plate designs. Kansas can visit ksplates.kansas.gov to select their favorite design. The website offers 5 distinctive design options for Kansans to select from. Voting is from now until Friday, August 9th at 5 p.m. A Wichita man who admitted to stealing a Jackie Robinson statue from McAdams Park in January was sentenced to 15 years in prison on Friday. Ricky Alderete pleaded guilty to multiple charges in May, including aggravated burglary. Alderete was among 3 suspects who authorities say cut off the statue at the ankles, leaving behind only Robinson's feet. Fundraising efforts from the Wichita community and beyond helped raise nearly $200,000 to replace the statue. It was rebuilt at an art foundry in Colorado, where the original was created. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available, of course, free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, soccer can be a very competitive sport, but in Joplin, the game is being played for a good cause. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on how an annual soccer tournament supports victims of child abuse.
I love soccer. Of course, I grew up playing, still play, I coach, I ref. I'm still heavily involved.
Soccer is something that Jake Schaefer is passionate about. So when he found a way to take the sport he loves and use it to support a good cause, it was a perfect match. He is the event organizer for an annual soccer tournament that benefits the Children's Center, a nonprofit organization that supports victims of child abuse.
The Children's Center just sticks out to me just because of what they do and what they provide to our community. Just giving the kids that have gone through some pretty difficult times in their lives, just someone to talk to. Someone to kind of be on their side to investigate further into just what they're going through.
Samuel Speck is passionate about the sport, owning a soccer store in Neosho called the Corner Kick, as well as both sponsoring and playing in the tournament with the store staff. He says it's the perfect way to help support the community.
As a local business owner, this is what we want to do. We want to grow the game of soccer, use it as we can to help affect the community in a positive way, and couldn't think of a better cause.
Teams and players from all over came to take part in the tournament. It has grown significantly from its first year, now having 22 different teams compete and well over 100 players.
I was very taken aback at first, seeing all the spectators out here, all the players out here, and just seeing everybody all together. It was pretty astounding.
Referees even volunteered for free in the hot temperatures to make sure the tournament was a success.
They're not being paid and giving up their time today, which means we're going to be able to give more money towards the charity. So really proud of them for that and greatly appreciated.
Participants say win or lose, they're happy to play because they know they're supporting a good cause.
Anytime the ball is at your feet, it's hard not to smile if you love this game, and knowing that we're all coming out doing it for a good cause just makes it even better. It's not about celebrating the goals today, it's about celebrating doing something for a great cause.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
This was the third year for the charity tournament, and organizers say they hope to continue hosting it for years to come. Well, coming up, Hurricane Debbie made landfall as a Category 1 storm in the Big Bend region of Florida's Gulf Coast. And later, we're making beefy garlic pizza in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to officially announce her running mate tomorrow. She's making this decision as the latest CBS News poll shows she is virtually tied with former President Donald Trump in battleground states and within the margin of error nationwide. Nicole Skenga reports from the White House.
As vehicles come and go outside Vice President Harris's Washington home Monday, anticipation is building to hear her pick for a running mate. On Sunday, she interviewed at least 3 top contenders in person: Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, and Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear are also said to be in the mix.
I come from a state where you have to cross the aisle.
In an interview, Governor Beshear insisted he can appeal to voters in both parties, while Pritzker touted his accomplishments in a new video.
There's no better place to see the change possible under Democratic leadership.
Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to officially announce her running mate tomorrow morning ahead of a campaign stop in Philadelphia later in the day. That's according to multiple people familiar with the selection process. Whoever Harris picks is set to join her on a 7-state battleground tour starting tomorrow. The latest CBS News poll shows Harris virtually tied with former President Trump in battleground states and within the margin of error nationwide.
Black voters now a big increase in the number who say they are going to vote. Turnout matters here, and they are more enthusiastic with Harris as the nominee.
The poll shows Harris and Trump statistically tied in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Arizona, with Harris 2 points ahead in Nevada, and Trump with an edge in Wisconsin, North Carolina, and Georgia. Nicole Skenga, CBS News, Washington.
Now, voters may not get the chance to see Harris and Trump face off on the debate stage. Trump has pulled out of a debate on ABC in September, claiming when he agreed President Biden was his opponent. Trump has proposed a debate on Fox News instead. Still to come on KOAM News. At noon, Mr. Food.
It's a pizza party kind of day here in the test kitchen, and you're invited. If you want to find out what kind of pizza we're serving, you're going to have to stick around.
And we've got some relief on the way, but we've still got a couple of days of heat ahead of us. We'll take a look at that forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So we got a hot day out there for us, a little bit on the muggy side with the south wind bringing in some of those muggier temperatures across the area. And it's going to be hot tomorrow and still a wee bit on the hot side for our Wednesday. We're going to start to see improvements. Let's talk about what we're seeing in terms of those improvements. Now, over the next couple of days, we don't really have any rain to show on the future track, but the changes that are going to take place will still be visible here. So we're going to show you first what we're expecting through the rest of today. Again, most of us mid-upper 90s for our highs. We'll have that south-southwesterly breeze out there, maybe a few clouds as we head into the evening. And we're talking heat index values maybe in the lower 100s. So we're not quite at a heat advisory or excessive heat warning status like we were a week ago, but still uncomfortable to say the least. You still got to make sure you're taking care of yourself if you're outdoors. Overnight tonight, again, our temperatures will still be above normal. Now, I want you to pay very close attention to the changes that we're going to notice are going to be initially in the wind arrows. By tomorrow morning, we've still got that southerly breeze out there, but by the time we head to noon, the winds begin to shift on us. We have a boundary coming in, that's going to push the winds out of the west by noon. Still going to be hot tomorrow. I'm not going to stand here and lie to you, but it's still going to be hot tomorrow. But by the afternoon and early evening, now look at those winds coming out of the north. So while we're still looking at upper 90s, even some lower 100s for our highs tomorrow, the north wind in the summertime doesn't bring cold air, but it will bring drier air. So any heat index values we see tomorrow will only be maybe 2 or 3 degrees above the air temperature. Now, I know when we're going into the upper 90s, lower 100s, that doesn't really matter much, but it won't be nearly as muggy for us. And then believe it or not, even after reaching highs into the triple digits for some, we're going to fall back in some cases a little below normal as we go Tuesday night into Wednesday, with some of us even into the upper 60s out there for our lows and some low 70s as well. Wednesday, I mean, we're already approaching that 90-degree mark today at noon, but by Wednesday at noon, we're looking at upper 70s, lower 80s. So we're talking 10, 12-degree difference by the noon hour by Wednesday. That's still going to be a bit on the hot side Wednesday. We're looking at highs, some upper 80s. We're looking at low 90s, a little further south and west. Could get still a little bit on the toasty side out there. But then we're going to continue to see improvements as we head to the second half of this week. So again, for the rest of today, still hot. Still a bit muggy, mid-upper 90s out there. Southwest breeze around 5 to 10 miles an hour, maybe a cloud here or there. Again, mostly clear skies tonight, few clouds here and there. Temperature still mild above normal, low mid-70s out there. The south breeze at 5 to 10. As mentioned, tomorrow by the afternoon, that wind will shift out of the north-northwest. It'll be about 5 to 10 miles an hour, and it's still going to be hot. Upper 90s, lower 100s with those sunny skies. And then, as I mentioned, we go later into this week, and it is really going to start to improve. We go low mid-90s for Wednesday for most of us, maybe even some morning showers or storms Thursday and Friday. But look at those daytime highs heading into the weekend, upper 80s and low 90s out there. So a big improvement across the area. We'll still be in the low 90s as we go into next week, but we won't be that far off our average high. And take a look at those lows. We got a few nights even well below normal out there. So if we can just get through the next couple of days, we're going to get a nice break from this unpleasant heat. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, Hurricane Debbie has made landfall into Florida with winds of 80 miles per hour. It landed just 9 miles from where Category 3 Hurricane Idalia made landfall nearly a year ago. Debbie is now expected to weaken and slow considerably, with some areas in the southeast seeing months worth of rain being dropped in the next several days. More than 200,000 homes and businesses have lost power in Florida. Stick around. We're making beefy garlic pizza in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard is showing us how to make beefy garlic pizza in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Raise your hands if you like pizza. You know, I might not be able to see you, but I'm sure there's lots of you at home with your hands raised. Well, guess what? Today's your lucky day because we're having a pizza party. Instead of serving up the same old cheese pie, we thought it'd be fun to make a beefed up pizza that is nothing short of spectacular. We start by sauteing some ground beef along with a bit of garlic until no pink remains. After draining it, we stir in some fresh plum tomatoes that we've seeded and chopped, along with a bit of salt and pepper. This'll be what sets us apart. Next, we roll out a store-bought pizza dough. You could even use a pre-made pizza shell, or if you're watching your carbs, a cauliflower pizza crust. Now we spoon the tomato and meat mixture over the crust and top it with strips of provolone cheese, and into the oven it goes. And by the way, if you're not a big meat eater, you can substitute the beef with a plant-based protein. Once the crust is golden and the cheese is melted, all that's left to do is cut into wedges and dig in. Talk about something that everyone loves and that's so darn easy and budget friendly. The recipe for our beefy garlic pizza is online now, so you can throw your own pizza party at home as soon as tonight. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a beefy good way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, so again, still hot and muggy today, mid-upper 90s out there, and we'll still be hot tomorrow, lower 100s and upper 90s, but drier air working in with a northerly breeze. A little better on Wednesday, much better heading into the weekend, upper 80s and low 90s, and could see a few isolated showers or storms Thursday morning and Friday morning.
The dog days of summer seem to be continuing.
I guess so, for now anyway.
Alrighty, and Dow, what do you have for us tonight?
Lots coming up at 5. For starters, COVID cases continue to rise during the summer months. We're going to take a look at how hospitals are joining the national effort to examine the impact long COVID is having on Black and Latino communities. Plus, the Miners Hall Museum Foundation begins participation in a collections assessment for preservation program. And Quapaw Nation says there's a growing need for foster parents in Northeast Oklahoma. We're going to take a look at how you can help. Hope you join us for those stories, a lot more, of course. It's coming up today, KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dow. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. We'll, of course, see you right back here at 5. Until then, have a great rest of your day.